This is the audience.
Hello, I'm Shelby Thomas, and this is my national issue speech on designer babies. Fast food is exactly that, fast. People do not go to fast food restaurants because it's delicious food. They go there because it's quick and easy and you get exactly what you want. Imagine if you could have a fast food pregnancy, where you're able to pick and choose your child's intelligence, athleticism, and eye color. The side orders could be preventing diseases such as cystic fibrosis. No, this is not the episode of The Twilight Zone. This is in fact where we are today in the recent breakthrough in embryonics. This is called designer babies, and this process is where the parents can pick and choose certain genetics. Even with the possibility of creating a perfect world, we need to discuss if this is the next step toward a perfect world or if it is breaking the law of ethics. I'm going to discuss what a designer baby is, talk about if it's plausible, and then discuss the ethics of it from a Christian standpoint. Now, what is a designer baby? According to Fred Gebhardt in his article, Designer Babies Could Be Right Around the Corner, he defines it as a designer baby is a baby whose genetic makeup has been predisposed by a doctor in order to eradicate a particular defect. This means that parents would be able to pick and choose genes and chromosomes to specifically have a child look the way that they want. This process is called pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, or PGD, and it allows parents to pick and choose outside of the womb and in vitro fertilization. Now, it's easy to get caught up in all the lingo and all the scientific explanation and wonder, is this actually possible? So now I'll address, is this possible? In short, yes it is, but it's limited. Sarah Lai explains in her article, Ethics of Designer Babies, how using PGD is actually more limited than you think. Scientists can screen embryos outside of the baby, but they have to use the genetics of the mother and father. You're not able to just take any genes from anyone. That would require hundreds of genetic people to choose from, which we all know a baby only needs a mother and a father. So if the parents are both short, you're not going to be able to have a tall baby because it's not in the genetics. It's easy to get that confused whenever you hear all these things coming in from the scientific world, but in reality, Sarah Lai says that it would take over 100 genes to choose to have a true genetic designer baby. Now, it may not be possible right now, but in the near future, we know how quickly science progresses, so we need to know, is this ethical or not? Jason Brennan, a libertarian journalist, argues in his article called Designer Babies that no, it is not ethical. As libertarian, he believes that we need to have a free market, but if only the rich were able to afford these designer babies, it would cause an uneven market, an even larger chasm between the rich and the poor, and it would not be fair to only have the rich people have the healthy, smart, intelligent babies while the poor are left to suffer. Michael Lemick, however, warns in his article written in Time magazine that, like in vitros, this too will be accepted. His point is that in the beginning, whenever in vitro fertilization first came out, people were opposed to it because this is going against the laws of nature. If a child isn't able to be born naturally, it shouldn't be born at all. But now we all know that in vitro fertilization is one of those miracles that we consider to be a gift from God. At least some couples do, because if you're not able to conceive on your own, what a great advancement in science it is that you're able to conceive outside of the womb. I personally have some cousins that were born this way, and I consider them a gift from God. What Michael Limerick is arguing is that although it may not seem ethical right now, eventually it too will be accepted, just like in vitro fertilization. Writer Chuck Colson, in his article called Designer Babies, as well argues how even though you may be able to design your own baby, it doesn't mean that that baby who's now been genetically engineered to be extra tall and extra athletic won't have a musical soul, won't be more on the artistic side. So you could create a baby that is going to be athletic and is going to, go to a basketball camp and be really excellent there, but in reality, if God put it on their soul to be more of a quiet, calm, less athletic person, that's something that you cannot genetically engineer, and that's where science cannot impose on the natural part of creation. Now, although all these issues come up and it gets really confusing, what we need to decide is this ethical? Some people say yes, some people say no, but what it comes down to is, do you think it's ethical? Now, as Christians, it's easier for us to say, well, let's go back to the Bible and let's discuss what God says. God says that He created life, and we need to decide if we're going to accept this new development in designer babies or if we're going to draw the line. It's important for the United States to make this decision because even though right now we're not having to decide on this issue. Eventually some people will be able to decide on this, and we need to draw the line. We need to decide where we're going to say, that's too far. That's where I say, no, we need to stop. Although it may not seem like it's happening right now, it will be in the future. So I would encourage everyone to read up on designer babies, become more informed, and make up your own decision. Because if you don't decide right now, eventually your decision's not going to be, is it ethical, but it'll be, do I want fries with my baby's blue eyes? Thank you. And I'll show the audience again.
Ooh. 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 Ooh.